Okay. So listen, we definitely needed something. We needed something. We are what we were 11. This is the 12th episode. So we were 11 episodes in to this. And I said, okay, it's kind of slacking off. We started good. It was high. Then things started to kind of slack off. And I said, okay, so what are we going to do here? What are we going to do? And then I got a sight of where we actually were. I said, wait a minute. Do these people actually have draws at the dinner table? Help me, somebody. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Listen, welcome SpillitBoyTV. This is my review for The Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 16, episode 12. We are 12 episodes in. Arturo, welcome. And you know what, Arturo, let me take a second to tell you, thank you so much for being at my live the other day when we talked about the whole Maddie and Kaya and Pride thing and all that. You were really, really in that live, giving me life in that live. So thank you so much for being there. And I clicked off and I was like, shoot, I wanted to say something to Arturo, but I didn't get around to it. So thank you so much. I always appreciate it. Always appreciate it. Okay, so back to these folks that had these draws on the table. I said, why do we have draws on the table? Okay, so this is kind of where we are. I said, we need something. We need something, and we need something in a big way. Now, y'all know I ain't no great big fan of hers. And the truth of the matter is, I'll stand 10 toes down in saying she was not needed over at Married to Medicine. Married to Medicine is Married to Medicine, and the likes of a Phaedra Parks is not needed over at Married to Medicine. It was cool for her to be there. She gave a little something, but it wasn't anything that the show couldn't have made it without. But over here, welcome home, Phaedra. Welcome home, Phaedra. I think it's getting ready to be a whole mess. The last thing she said, oh, this is a buffet of foolishness. I say, Phaedra's back. Phaedra is back and in full effect, and I think it's really getting ready to go down. I told y'all in the last episode, it's getting ready to go down, and the title of this one was The Frick is Back. Y'all remember Frick and Frack was Phaedra and Portia. Phaedra and Portia has a history of getting into some major trouble. So hopefully nothing like that. We don't need the law enforcement to be called and that kind of thing, but we definitely need a little to our program. And I think Miss Phaedra Parks is going to bring that. So yes, here's your chance, Phaedra, to save your show. Anyway, let's go back to the beginning. Episode, Shamia and Kelly get together. So let me tell you how bored I am with Kelly. Okay. I'm just bored with this little woman. I really am. I am. Corinne, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mwah. Love you too, darling. I'm bored with Kelly. I'm so tired of Kelly's titties and her behind. I am. She just don't wear clothes. Period. We seen it. It's cool. Girl. You know, okay, sis. It's all right. You know what I mean? But do you just never, like, listen, I loves me an old nasty piece of black woman. I do. I love it. I love it. The better, the better. But I like to see my girls dressed. I love to see you all done up. And I love to see you scantily clad. But I don't want to see you naked all the time. Now, I am gay now. Like, come on. Come on. I don't even want to see a man naked all the time. Like, knock it off. It's too much. It's always a swimsuit. They'll go to church in a swimsuit and a big hat. Like, just knock it off. It's too much. It's too much. Anyway, so Shamia and Kelly get together. They really ain't talking about nothing. First thing Shamia did that irritated me is that she's like, hey, best friend. No. Portia is your best friend. Portia has been your best friend. You and Portia are mean girls. That's what y'all do. Kelly's sneaky. That's a different type of girl. You call her best friend. And then you knew you was out of order, Shamia, calling her best friend. You know why I know that you knew that you was out of order, calling that broad best friend? Because you went in your confessional and you started trying to explain it. You went to nigga-splaining up in the confessional. Why? Why? Because you knew that was some bullshit. She's not your best friend, and that's not cute. That's not cute. That wasn't cute to me. It seemed very just disingenuous. It just didn't seem good to me. I was like, get out of here. I ain't buying it. Whatever. The scene was a bust for me. Kelly's sneaky. Kelly just basically let us all know that you don't know a damn thing about geography. You're calling out all these places that ain't in the Caribbean. I said, okay, come on, well-traveled. I'm saying my Tamar voice. Are you sure? Anyway, so she had made a clown out of you on there. I said, Lord. Anyway, planning a trip to Grenada or Grenada. I don't know which one is the proper, because I ain't well traveled. So I don't know. Grenada. Yeah, they going to one of them. I can go. How about that? I got my passport. I can go. Thank you, Miss J. She said, I'm at the edge of my seat waiting for this review. Child, listen. I mess, you know, when I get around there to Britt's little event, I'm getting ready to clown, honey. Just hang on. Trust my process. When I get over there to Edie Britt, I'm going to knock her head off, honey, about that raggedy little, girl, that little raggedy soiree out of here. Said, girl, what is this? Child, please. We needed Dwight, honey. Dwight would have said, what is this eating function with no food? How dreadful. That was a hot mess. I'm going to get there in just a second because the rest of this wasn't even all that. But they're going to Grenada on vacation. She wanted her to co-host with her. And they're like, oh, yeah, you know, they just had a hurricane, so we're going to provide some hurricane relief. That I did. Like, Rory. Hello, Rory. How are you? How have you been? Hello, my love. Yeah, it just, they're going to do some hurricane relief, so I ain't going to drag them too much. We're going to let that slide because that's cool. That's cool. And then they talked to the little fella, and the little fella said, you know, we need this, we need that, this, that, and the other. Shamia was about the business. I'll give her that. You know, what do you need? Let me know. I'm definitely going to bring it. Old Kelly, she trying to, I had to catch myself. I was be all the way out of order. She trying to find her a place to sit while she there. She said, he cute, girl. He's fine, and he's 5'9". I said, well, girl, that'll do wonders for you because you really going to be looking up to him, ain't you? Because you, what, 3'2", and he's herself. Get on out of here. And can I tell you how much I'm sick of scenes with her and that dog? I said, y'all, we need something. We need something. I seen it, Thickness. I saw that Armand got the little song from DKL. You know, that's what DKL is best at. That's his high point. That's what he does well. And I'm gonna talk about not just him, but another one of our loves from down here. But yes, shout out to Armand. Armand's been doing a fantastic job out here with his coverage of that case. Duchess jumped out there and he was impressed that he'd have made a little song for him, wrote a song about it. I like to hear it. Here it goes. So that was really cool. I'm sick of Kelly's dog. Her and Algonquin, I have had enough of Algonquin. I'm not that interested in that dog. Y'all know I loves me some Quad. But when she, I only did but so much commentary on the two little dogs, her two little dogs. And what's that? But I definitely ain't going to do too much more commentary on Algonquin. Algonquin is a funny looking little dog. That little dog is ridiculous looking to me. And I can't. I'm like, we've been reduced to talking about the dog, and the dog lost an eyelash while getting a facial. I'm going to say that again for the slow ones in the back. The dog lost an eyelash while getting a facial. I ain't grew up with a silver spoon in my mouth, okay? I'm from the ghetto for all intents and purposes, okay? Do you know the type of facials that dogs got around my way, honey? It's when they were attacking people, honey. The facial was with a bat, a stick, mace, or just an old punch in the face, honey. That's when there was a conversation. And I know the PETA people don't get mad, honey. All the dog protectors don't get mad. I'm making a point. Just ride with me here. The fact that we are down so low that we're doing commentary on the dog getting a facial. When I grew up, that's the only time that we was talking about somebody doing something to a dog's face. You done busted in the face because it was trying to get your face. So you had to get it in the face, okay? Not no dog having a face. You got an old nasty piece of mangy mutt laying up. You rubbing its face and its eyelash fell off, and you think that that's worth time on somebody's channel? Good night. I'm sick of Algonquin and its owner, okay? Sick of her titties and I'm sick of her dog, period. Moving right along. So, Portia is out house shopping. Cool. She got to have somewhere to live. I wasn't crazy about that house. That house just it was big. It was spacious. It was pretty. But for some reason, it didn't just jump off the television. Like Kenya's house always jumped off the page. It was like, man, that house is sharp. Like that house got character. Candy's house, you like, shit, now that's a house. Even the house that Candy bought for her mama, and her mama let that man tear it up. Child, I get mad about Mama Joyce to that every time I think about it. Like, you really let that freak tear that house up. Oh, I wanted to take a piece of rolled up paper and whack Mama Joyce on the behind. Up there all in love with that man tearing up Candy's house. But those houses, even that house had character. That house that they showed Portia, something was missing. You said, where's that man today? Child, I don't know. I guess he's with everybody else that was a one-hit wonder. He probably working down to the post office. I don't know. Anyway, but I don't know. I just couldn't get into that house. That house really didn't do anything for me. And another house that ain't about nothing? That one that, what's that broad's name? Angela. That shack she trying to sell, that house ain't hitting on shit. It just ain't hitting on nothing. Then she had some whole issues with look like some sideways contractors. I said, is that one of your cousins or something, girl? Because that contractor sideways, he ain't talking about nothing. I was like, neither one of them houses was hitting on nothing. So I'm like, I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing Angela's house, and I didn't need to see that house for Portia. We tap into this for a lifestyle that we don't have. You know, I want to revel in your life. So I want to cheer you on. Girl, next. Okay. So here's the thing. While they were there, Portia and her sister and her mama, Diane. Portia started talking about how she walked away back in 2013 from that marriage with Cordell with nothing. You see where I live? This is where I live. For those of y'all who've been knowing me and gets it wrong, I am from Pennsylvania. I am not from Philadelphia. I am from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I am a Berg kid. I am from the Three Rivers. That's where I'm from. I'm from Steel City. I'm not from Philadelphia. Nothing, listen, nothing against Philly. Philly don't owe me nothing, baby. Every time mother walks into Philly, baby, Philly leaves me with a new story and a good time and a new different reason to smile. Philly and me is good, but I ain't from Philly. I'm from the Berg, okay? So I already know the story of Cordell. When I tapped in here and I seen she was, I said, no, this beautiful black Barbie doll ain't married to Cordell. You know, from the door, I said, oh, Cordell, who? Girl, why? Why, girl? You married to Cordell for what? A live, living Barbie doll is all she was. That's all she was. She was a live, living, beautiful black Barbie. And you know, I don't do Portia all like that. I ain't no Portia fan. But one thing is for sure is I ain't no liar. You cannot take from what is right there in front of your face. Portia is a beautiful brown-skinned Barbie doll. She really is. Built like a brick shit house. Dumb as a goddamn rock. Trifling as hell. And just raggedy. That's our Portia. And she's a man-eater and a man thief. Man-eater, make you work hard, make it. That's Portia. Okay? Cordell, ridiculous. It was ridiculous from the door. You were what you were. You were bought and paid for. She is a perfect example of what it is to be kept. It's never good to be kept. It may look nice, but it's not. It's not nice. It always ends well. Ends not well. It never ends well when you're being kept. And that's what that was about. So she walked away with nothing. You actually should have walked away with nothing because you went in with ill intentions. You didn't love Cordell. You didn't. You didn't marry for love. You married for stuff. You already had stuff. You came from stuff. Go find you some stuff of your own. Get your own stuff. Okay? So you married for stuff. So you moved about this basically like you learned about being kept. You learned, that ain't too hot. But then you turned around and then you went out and you were searching for companionship and stability yet again. Not love. You were lying about love. You went over there and stole that woman's husband. And you got, they always say, watch what you ask for. You just might get it. You got a handful of shit. You did. And it's again, nobody should feel sorry for you really, because you put yourself in this position. You went out searching for companionship and stability, and you got a handful of shit. A scam. It was all a scam. It was all a scam. Okay? So that was that, and that was all. So that's all I got out of that scene. Okay? And I don't think that's what they were trying to give me, but that's what I got. That's what I got. And then when I see Diane, it just gives me all the reasons why I don't call her Miss Diane. She just Diane. You just Diane. And it's the more we find out about Portia's mother, be like, girl, you running these streets, you be cutting up. Diane, you is something, honey. Dirty Diane. No, you be doing a lot, Diane. A mess. Moving on. Lauren, I ain't gonna mess with you, Lauren. You just belong for the ride. I guess you the muscle in the crew. Lauren always looked like, if the fight break out, she'd be like, this is my part, That's what Lauren give me. Anyway, moving on. Shamia, you messy heifer. She done went on down there to the radio station. She down there with Big Tigger. And she down there, she giving them just what they want. Big Tigger and DJ Busy B. She was carrying, okay? She come in on some bull crap. She it's V103. She's down there. She mad with Drew. And I think it was like somebody clicked the switch on. I don't think she actually went there to drag Drew, but they said something about Drew being the castmate and dropping a single. She just went to dragging. We found out she's still mad about the comment about her being Portia's lapdog. Now, I kind of get you feeling a little bit of a way, but Shamia, come on. That's the one time she ain't lied. She didn't lie. You were Portia's lapdog. And not only were you her lapdog, you was her punching bag too. You was her punching bag too. It's just the way it is. She didn't lie about that. She really didn't. And you just took that interview, and I'm gonna tell you where you went wrong. You have things coming up. You have products that you're pushing forth, and you spent a lot of time. And I don't know how long the interview was because I didn't see the actual interview. I just saw what they aired on the show, and that's the thing. What they aired on the show, nothing about you. We ain't getting nothing about you. It was Drew. You went over there and you worked for Drew in that piece of the show. That was Drew's segment. It wasn't your segment. You were just performing it. So Drew gonna get all of the royalties for that segment because now you got us wanting to listen to Drew's music so we can hear what you claim that it ain't. It didn't make me want to go listen to your music. It made me want to go listen to what Drew did so I could see if you was just being petty or if you were telling the truth. But truth is, you definitely were her lapdog. It wasn't nice for her to say it. You know what I mean? Because you could have fired her back. I mean, she was married to old Ralph, and Ralph, come on, you jumping up and down on Ralph at night, making Ralph feel good whenever necessary, feeding him, cleaning his clothes, and boring children to him. And you was his lapdog. Because your wife ain't never supposed to be your lapdog, but you were there, weren't you, Drew? So you could get her back, girl. So I don't even know why you even carried that, girl. Read her and drag her and keep it moving. Your husband's all about you. Her husband don't like her. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't have gave that hoe my interview. Not at all, baby. I'd have been over there talking about my music. I'd have been singing a little something and really cutting up and carrying on. But you basically gave that to her, and then you jumped up and called her a lying ass bitch. I said, oh my. You really meant it, huh? Let me go over here to Britt. Only thing I'm gonna say about Britt, because I told you I can't do too many things with Britt. Britt's just fake to me. She's having a party at a country club. It's a whole golfing situation. We right just about there. But Britt, I wrote this in my notes. She keep talking about her insurance license and it being on hold. Why? This is the thing. You keep telling us about this here insurance license and it being on hold, but you're not really telling us why that license is on hold. What's up, Brent? What actually happened that the license is on hold? And it ain't about what King has said. I ain't buying that. And your whole beef with Angela was the fact that Angela questioned you. Angela questioned you when you were in the midst of setting up for your sympathy play about this license. And I ain't never got to the bottom of why this license was at risk. Just me. Did I miss something? Because when there's somebody on that I don't really dig, I'm subject to fall asleep till the commercial come back. Did I miss something? I don't think I did, but I just keep finding it funny that she keep on bringing up this license and the suspension of this license, or the whole suspension, what risk, whatever. You bringing up there's problems with this license, and I still ain't getting no answers as to why. Why, ma'am? Moving right along. Charles and Angela over at the shack that ain't coming together. She gets to talking to him about the situation with her mom, and she getting ready to fake cry, okay? And I looked over there at Charles. Charles' face said everything. Charles was looking at her, and I just went to laughing. He don't give a damn. He did not care about nothing about what you talk. You get ready to cry. That's like a kid. When my kids was real small, and I think all children have done this at one time or another. They come and say, "I'm getting ready to cry," because they want a response out of you. And my response, I'm getting ready to cry. Good. And then I'm going to give you a reason to do it. And then mine left that shit alone and said, oh, get the hell away from this fool. Child went on about their business. But it is funny. And I've seen many children do that. I'm about to cry. Are you? And if you're doing it for no reason, we're going to get you where you want to be. Get the hell on out of here, you little midget. But that's what it gave. She's like, oh, I'm getting ready to get all emotional. And he looked over at her like, girl, shut up, honey. I said, Lord have mercy. My phone is doing this thing. Thank y'all. I won't mention your name. Y'all, they're sending me stuff. Some people are sending me cash apps. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But I won't say their names because in the cash app, a lot of times it has people's real name. And that's why they got screen names, because they don't want their real name out. But thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Mwah! Thank you so much. So Charles I start laughing because it just is kind of like a thing. At first, I didn't know how to feel about it. I was like, this man is mean to her. And I always go girl first. And I usually, I go girl first. I'm a boy. Boys go girl first. They want to protect the girl. No matter if you're a different kind of man or the other kind of man, you just go girl first. And something just didn't look right. I'm like, why are he treating that lady like that? I was ready to not like him. Like if you look at my first review of this, I was like, what's up with him? Him and his mouth. I was all ready to give him that fire, right? But she's so fake and so phony. He's so over it. And they just got so much going on. So you can't do nothing but laugh at them. They are a hot mess. And he don't give a damn, okay? He do not care at all. At all. It's all over his face. Written all over your face. He don't give a damn. He don't care. She goes through all that, and then she's apologizing to him about not hearing his side of the argument when it was with her mother. Well, here's the thing, Angela. I ain't even going to hold you with that, because if you arguing with my mama, I ain't heard your side of it either. I'm going to side with my mama just because. And she could be totally wrong. Totally wrong. So, my mother's a control freak. And she's a Gemini. My mother likes control. She wants control of the whole situation. And I could know she wrong, but you ain't arguing with my mother, nigga. So you just go ahead on. I'd have straightened his hair, honey. I'd have had him with a old nasty wrap and a bob, and he'd have been laying down like Andre 3000, and he argued with my mama. Anyway, moving on. So she is apologizing to him. Is it Andre 3000 or 2000? I don't remember how many thousands it is, but I like Andre. Love Andre. Anyway, but that's how his hair would have been laying, honey. Hey, y'all. It'd have been laying. Arguing with my mother. I don't play them games. Anyway, so Britt has actually invited Charles and Angela to her little golfing event. I said, oh, really? After all that sad baby talk, you don't invite him out? I hope your husband's going to be there with his lopsided self. I hope your husband's going to be there with his lopsided self, honey. Because you, girl, what? I said, okay, I guess. That was that. So here we go. Let's go to this party, okay? This party from the beginning. I said, first of all, Britt, your outfit was ridiculous. It was too small. It was too small. It looked like you was going to go swimming. And you basically looked like you were dressed for a Kentucky Derby. And that's what they asked her. They said, well, the producer asked her in the confession, well, girl, what does shapewear have to do with a derby? And she's like, it ain't got to have no correlation. It ain't got to go together. So I sat here and I listened to her and the producer in this confessional, and you got this whole business that you're basically here because you're launching your business and celebrating the launch of your business that just happens to be a mirror image of Portia's business that is already successful, that's been in existence for almost 10 years or so. Don't that remind y'all of the candle thing between Wendy Osefo and old drunken ass Grand Dame Karen? That wasn't nice, James. That wasn't nice. Should I take that back? I ain't taking it back. I'm still mad at Karen for having me looking like a fool, honey. Karen had me looking like a fool. Now I was steady arguing with the people, telling them why they picking on Karen. Karen, just wait till the court case comes up and leave Karen alone. Karen's old drunk ass. I said, you drunk and putrid. Had me down here arguing with the people, looking a fool. I could have smacked Karen in the top of her head. Not seen that camera footage of how drunk she was. Karen's a lush. Anyway, moving on. I ain't taking it back. Moving on. So I wrote my note. I said, she's a goon. She's just a goon. This ain't nothing got to go together. Girl, bye. Anyway. So I'm looking at this party. Everything ain't set up. I'm like, no, this is trifling. This is trifling. They setting up tables. I said, when you ever been to something at a country club and things ain't, you go to a country club, things are just so. It's an outing. You know, people have paid money to be here. You know, it's supposed to be above board. They up there setting up tables and carrying. I said, set wasn't complete. Kelly and Shamia have gotten there before everybody. They on time. She got them out there playing golf. That was just stupid. Because there's nothing that she could have told. Nothing she could have said to me to make me go over there in heels playing. I'd have been like, girl, golf, being dressed up like you're going to the Kentucky Derby, shapewear, none of that mess. It was just a smorgasbord of foolishness, a ponderosa, if you will. Shout out to Jackie Christie. It was a ponderosa, an overdressed ponderosa, okay? So Kelly, with her shady stuff, Kelly gonna say, it seems like she doesn't, like her neighbors don't even know her. I said, you know they don't know her, and she don't know what goes on over here, obviously. So we end up seeing a little clip behind the door because you know the people down in Bravo are shady. They are shady. They filming through the cracks in the door. I said, look at you fuckers. They filming. She arguing back and forth a little bit with the people because they was late. I said, well, who are these people? Whose cousin's cousin is this that you done brought in here? Britt, they from the old neighborhood, huh? Even the food. I said, girl, is that a big piece of fried Walmart chicken breast? I said, what? And speaking of the food, late setting up, trifling. The people who was actually doing it, they looked a little dusty. I'm not being shady. They looked a little dusty, and I'm like, Walmart chicken on plates. But here's the one: There was only enough food to feed the cast, the main cast, the peach holders. You kidding? No food. She cussing them out because they done put out plates and menus for everybody. And you done led all the guests to believe we get ready to, oh, tell them what you want. And they're going to bring you a plate. Ain't no plate. Those plates and those menus were only for the girl. And why they got menus? It's Walmart chicken. It's Walmart chicken. What they need a menu for so they can tell you whether they wanted the rotisserie or the fried. Girl, if you don't get the hell on up out of here eating with this old nasty piece of sideways ass supposed to be outside damn picnic inside of the country club with your foolish behind. I said, this is crazy. Embarrassing. And y'all listen, I saw a couple of the girls, the girls. I seen this one, he had this cute little suit on. I seen him and I said, oh, look at this little suit. I said, go ahead, bitch. And then the next time I seen him, honey, he was like this. I said, girl, they get ready to light you up. Said, girl, they get ready to light you up, Miss Edie. They get ready to get you, Britt, honey. That's terrible. I said, oh my gosh, honey. And just a mess. They said, oh, there was just drinks for the people and no food for the people. Trifling. Then, as if it couldn't get any worse, then they're giving out these here gifts. And in the gifts, they're like these nice little black boxes. I said, okay. Girl, they open up the box. It ain't got no pretty frou-frou or not. Girl, they sell that at the dollar store, Britt. At the dollar store. Girl, it's just boxes. And it got random draws. She had told him, if you don't have the right size, girl, there's only, what is there, 8 of y'all? There's only, 7 or 8 cast members? You ain't found enough to figure out the size. Girl, somebody around's got to be a professional. I could stand around and look at them, girl, and say, this size, that size, that size. Because I do so. So ain't no, who made the garments? Get that bitch. Have that bitch look around the room and tell you what size they need. Every last one of these ladies got pages all over social media. You could have guesstimated. What made you think, or were you being shady? That you gave Angela a large? Was that supposed to be you calling her a big bitch on the slide? Because Angela, she's tall, but Angela built like a brick shithouse. So in the way of shapewear, there is no way Angela wears no extra large or a large. Quit your playing. You being shady, I believe, or you just didn't give a damn. And you gave them, and to hand somebody draws at a dinner table is just crass. I don't care how you chalk it. It's draws. Shapewear. It goes underneath your clothes. It's a personal item. It's different when it's lingerie. But I don't want nobody to give me no lingerie at the dinner table after you done served the food. The food is out there and y'all pulling out draws. Trifling. So that was bad enough. Then Angela, no time like the present, right, Angela? Angela goes ahead and busts on out and gets the mess started. And well, yeah, thank you for inviting me. I'm surprised I got invited. It's this shit right here is why here you go. And she got it started. She kicked it off. But somebody got to kick it off. You know what I mean? And Angela do a good job of kicking shit off. She had to kick it off. She kicked it off, my husband is here and he ain't got no side babies. And Britt, she ghetto, because she just pretended right now. We already seen how she get. She gonna say, yeah, and I'm not one of his whores. And I said, please, please, oh please, please, because you know that man got a mouth on him. I said, that man, oh, that man is getting ready to go straight cold Peter Thomas. Yo, please. Child, that man said, and I don't mess with whores. I said, oh, here we go. I knew he wasn't just going to let her just handle it. He did good though. I got to give it to you, Charles. You didn't show out the way I thought you was going to show out. You did pretty good. You did pretty good. But I thought he was getting ready to get loose. I said, oh, where's your crooked husband, honey? Where's your lopsided ass man, honey? Because, girl, no, ma'am. So it was getting ready to get started. Then Drew gets started because that was pretty calm. Then Drew gets started with Kelly. I said, wait a minute, Drew. Drew mad as hell at Ralph. So she ready to give the smoke to anybody. You know, she been locked out of her house since the last episode. Drew been locked out since the last episode, okay? She mad as hell. She can't wait to give somebody the blues. And I know you ain't got back in the house yet, Drew, because I seen that dumbass dress you had on. I said, oh, girl, you had to run to the Target because you must couldn't get back in the house. What was that outfit? I was like, okay, girl. But she mad. So it started to get a little loud. Drew and Kelly got to go about. I don't even know who the real Kelly is. You know, just fake. And this, that thing, and the other. I said, oh, here we go. I said, oh, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Child, then it swing over to Shamia. And Shamia's like, yeah. And how did I catch a stray? By this time, Shamia's just bored. So she just want to catch her a little something to entertain herself. She said, how did I get a catch a stray? Oh, yeah, you called me a lap dog. And then she going to say, yeah, yeah, well, just, She's trying to explain it away. Because she was like, well, I mean, I said it, but she's trying to stand in it a little bit, but then try to explain it away too. And she was like, I ain't buying it, girl. You called me a lap dog and you could just kiss my ass. I said, oh. And then at that point, this is when one of my favorite parts of the show happened. When she said that, the camera panned around and it flashed to, you know, because they kept flashing in the audience because, you know, we had people that was like, oh, my God, honey, oh, side-eye. The camera flashed over and I said, is that the little cutie? Is that him? Bam, it was him. And he said, oh, that's Justin Diego. It's Justin Diego of Bingeworthy from down here at YouTube on Instagram. He was at the party. So look, I was just elated at that point. I love to see one of us show up at any of this stuff or on the screen. Congratulations to you, Justin Diego. Listen, he works very hard when it comes to these shows and his reviews. And if you don't know who he is, you are missing out. Go over. It's Bingeworthy. It's all one word. BINGE. WORTHY. Yeah, I can spell, bitch. I can spell. But Bingeworthy, go and give him a click and a view. Check him out. He does everything Bravo, baby. And he is hilarious. Hilarious. He works very hard. I was so happy to see him there. I said, check him out. I did. I sent a little thing to Really Be TV. I said, girl, did you see old cute Justin over at the party? Side-eye the photos. Child, because his face had me screaming, baby. I said, It was getting just as loud. I said, ooh, this is a whole mess. A whole mess. So this was like that one of the highlights. There's only really two highlights of the whole show. This was the one. House of Aaron was there too. See, I gotta go back and watch to see if I see Aaron. Another little cutie. Aaron works real hard too and is one of us as well. Oh man, I gotta go back and see if I see Aaron. Yeah, just too much. It was too much. But I got Justin. They showed Justin twice, and I was screaming. I said, yeah, where your phone out, Justin? He's like, So it kept going. It was getting all loud. Next thing you know, honey, auntie, and had her couple drinks. Her ass was over there half high. She said, the hell with this. I'm out of here. Y'all ridiculous. Y'all is ridiculous. Cynthia got up and she's girly. And I believe Cynthia just had came in town from somewhere. Might have came in just for that. She wasn't really happy about how that went. She was clean. Ooh, Cynthia's ass was clean up in there. I said, is that mirrors wearing a dress? She was sharp. She was sharp, but she was like, I ain't doing this with y'all today. I ain't in the mood. I'm out. And she left, and the people started leaving behind her. I said, hey, Britt, you give trifling events, honey. This is trifling. We ain't coming to nothing else you give, honey, with this Walmart chicken and this shorted menu. Trifling. Anyway, moving right along. Next thing we ended up seeing was Drew. Drew is getting ready to sign her contract, her recording contract. But in the midst of it, she's like, I want to talk to him before I even do all of this. So before we do the Zoom call, we're going to do a FaceTime. And they FaceTime Dennis. Dennis, you a snake. You're a snake. You got a big hard belly. And I believe that you be sliding around on it a little bit. Because Drew confronted you about that stuff that Portia was talking about how she was trying to sleep with you to get free time and all of that and all this kind of carrying on. And then you said, if I'm not badly mistaken, ain't the last time we seen Dennis said that he wasn't working with Drew no more? Wasn't that like last episode or the episode before? He said he wasn't working with Drew no more. And now this episode, they get ready to sign contracts. What the hell is really going on here? I was like, okay, y'all getting on my nerves. Y'all get on my nerves because it feel like I'm missing something or I'm sleeping through something, but I don't think I've been sleeping. I don't think I've been missing. I think y'all just full of shit. Full of a little bit of shit. But here's the thing. He never denied saying what Portia said. Did y'all catch that? He never denied what was said. What he said to her in that FaceTime was, I don't even know why you listen to that. I said, girl, that's the Jedi mind trick. You ought to know it. Ralph plays it on you all the time. That made me say, girl, Dennis, did you really slide something to her? Because she going for the same bull crap that her husband used to put her through. Green had his hands on you, girl. Anyway, that's all I got out of that scene. I was like, whatever. Now, here was the other best part of the show. I said, well, where are we going to go? We got events that ain't got no food and draws at the table and just a hot mess. What's next? Baby, their savior. Baby, we see Portia going on up to this door. I said, oh, here we go. She opened it up. It's Faye. And her and Phaedra, they're fake. Hey, girl. You know how they do. But what got me, when I say that Phaedra showed up ready for work, Phaedra is ready for work. Phaedra just literally in that one little short scene, and it was a short scene, but it was the best part of the whole damn episode. When I tell you how she went around the whole cast and gathered, Portia was throwing it to her, and she gathered the girls, honey. She said, oh, Kelly, oh, you're going to love Kelly. She said, yeah, I seen her. Yeah, I think I'll love her. And they called them up and called her up on the thing. And she's like, oh, hi, Faye, this, that, the other. She goes, yeah, I love the little people. You know I love little people. You remember when I was around, honey, and I had the little event and I had all the little people there. I love the little people, honey. I just put them in my purse. Or I just put them in my basement. She just said something, putting little people in her basement. I said, Phaedra. Oh, Phaedra. Baby, we can't be saying we're going to put the little people in the basement. Now, what the hell is really going on? Last time you was on here talking about basements, you got in trouble. Now, chill out. Chill out. You see how they tried to breeze past that when they was doing the intro for Phaedra? And when she said, I was here and I made some mistakes. I said, oh, that was her apology and let's move on. It was real fast, and they breezed on across it. And the first thing you say is, you gonna put the little people in the basement. I said, oh, Jesus. Anyway, so she hit that with Kelly. She gonna like her just because she's compact. And then she said, Britt Edie, of course, yeah, I know her. She said, yeah, that's the woman about town, isn't she? She called that woman a hoe. She said, yeah, she's been known to have quite a few suitors. I said, easy with that one, Faye, honey. They threw Kenya off the show about calling that woman a whore. And if everybody keeps calling you a whore, what are we supposed to believe? I'm just asking for a friend or 10. Moving on. Drew, she said, I thought Drew, she said, I'm hearing all this little stuff about Drew. She said, girl, I thought she was more into tacos. I said, Phaedra! Phaedra! Really? Girl, she was going around the room. I said, now, I couldn't did it no better myself, baby. Brown house kicking the girls down. I said, Lord have mercy. They said, Angela, she said, oh, wait a minute. I didn't know. She married to who? Oh, they're married? Oops. She claimed they ain't even know that Angela was married to Charles. I said, Lord, Angela, here we go. We're hearing it again, honey. Everybody know him. Don't nobody know you, girl. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing, baby. And then she said, oh, sweet Shamia. Yeah, Shamia's good people. No, Shamia is, y'all are now the three musketeers. Mean, meaner, and meanest, honey. Y'all three together talking about she good people. I said, Lord have mercy. And that's what she said. And she said, oh, and then she ran back through them again. A woman about town, the little lady, honey. Then she said, she called Kelly strawberry shortcake. She called her strawberry shortcake. Called Angela the secret wife. I said, Lord have mercy, honey. And then turn around. She said, oh, yeah, honey, this is going to be a bucket of foolishness, a buffet of foolishness. That's what she said, a buffet of foolishness. Listen, I'm here for it. I am here for it. And unlike what went on with Married to Medicine, I believe at this point, I'm glad, because I kept saying, well, when are they going to bring Phaedra in? I am absolutely glad this was Chef's Kiss. They're bringing her in at the correct time. I believe Phaedra is just what the doctor ordered. And on that, I am out of here. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Those of you who cash out the Venmo and super chatted, thank you so much. I love you for real. I appreciate you. Listen, I will see y'all out here in these streets. Listen, I don't know if you all are watching, but Beyond the Gates, if you like drama and you like African American or any type of melanated situation, which you do, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be here, because I'm about blackity black. I'm about black as it gets. You like a melanated situation, get into it. Beyond the Gates are making history around these parts. You understand? They have been greenlit for a second season. There's 100 episodes in the first season. We are 60 episodes in. I do reviews on every episode. Every episode. At times I come every day, and there's sometimes I'll actually lump them in together, but I have done reviews on every episode. Make this happen. Keep this happening. The cast is pretty much 85% melanated. The workforce, as I've been told, is pretty much 85% melanated as well. They are doing a fantastic job. The storylines are juicy and it's delicious, honey. Listen, I be running home trying to see it. I get DVR. I'll be right up in here. It comes on 2 o'clock every day on CBS, and you can also catch it on Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus actually has it where you can actually go back and actually watch. But I actually do, and I go live. I do my reviews live. Y'all come and join me. We has a good time over there. It's a daytime soap. So, we veer off into a whole bunch of stuff. We really, really do. Mateus. How are you? But yeah, give it a shot. If you like drama and melanated folks, honey, beyond the gates. Come over there and hang out with me, honey. I'll be having a good time. But thank y'all for hanging out. I appreciate it. China's one of my little crew over there. China be there for every episode. I appreciate you, Queen, for hanging out with me. I really do. I look down there to certain folks. I'll be looking down. I'll be like, where they at? China be right there with me, pushing me up, telling me go forth, honey. Because that's a hard one. I knew it was going to be hard when I made that commitment to do the show because it's so often, but oh my God, what a good time. What a good time. So we're going to keep on going forth. I love y'all. I will see y'all soon. Y'all have a good one. Bye now.